Let's talk shit.
That's literally how Alexandra starts the conversation. She used to be a painter, and a successful one. But when she couldn't find a natural fix to her gut issues, she decided to make one. Fast forward to now, and she's the founder of Let Loose, an oxygen-powered laxative brand that's growing fast and unapologetically.
We just hit 150K in rev just for May.
Let's just say poop pays. She flew in from New York, we met her in London, and this is the story. So we're here with Alexandra, the founder of Let Loose, also an amazing artist, but we'll go into all of that later. Today, what are we doing?
We are wandering around Notting Hill in London.
Let's see where the day takes us.
We're on an adventure of sorts.
2 to 3 months ago, we met on a Zoom call, and then now today we've met in person in London. That's so cool.
It's pretty incredible what the internet can do.
It really is. You're based in New York, right?
I am, yeah, New York City.
What brought you to London?
So my mom actually lives here part of the time, and it's my sister-in-law's PhD graduation. So the whole family's here for a week, and I hired an agency to help me create 40 new ads for my company, and they're based here. So little business, a little family time.
That is nice.
Yeah.
That is nice. That's awesome. A little mix of both. You were shooting the ads just before this, no?
I was, yeah.
How did that go?
It was amazing. We had 5 actors on set, and then I was the 6th. It was intimidating. I do not know how to act, but we just talked about poop for 5 hours straight. It was great.
Speaking of poop.
That's all I talk about.
You're the founder of Let Loose.
I am.
What is Let Loose, and...
I'll show you what Let Loose is.
There we go.
Let Loose is an oxygen-powered natural laxative.
Oxygen-powered?
Yeah, so essentially, instead of just like a regular magnesium oxide, what this is they take magnesium oxide and they put it through an ozonation process. Okay. And so it attaches extra oxygen molecules to the oxygen, to the magnesium oxide. And so you take one capsule and it pulls oxygen through your digestive system, pulling water in, softening built up waste, essentially. And then also it's insane because not only does it clear you out, it creates this oxygenated environment for your good gut bacteria to thrive. So if you're taking a probiotic, it also boosts your gut health, essentially. So clears you out, helps you be less bloated and boost your gut health. It's like the perfect product.
That is so cool. How, like, you sound very, very like
obsessed
exposed.
with it?
No, I wouldn't say obsessed, like just you know your stuff. Like, is your background in gut health?
No, I have been a full-time painter for the last 8 years now, and this is a total career pivot.
So you were a painter for 8 years?
Yeah.
How and why, how did you get into this? What is your story?
I am the most constipated person you'll ever meet in your entire life.
Yeah.
And I had tried every single laxative in the world, every fiber supplement, I went to multiple doctors. Everyone was like, take Miralax, and you probably don't know what that is because it's an American laxative that sucks, and it's the most disgusting thing in the world. And I was just thinking about the fact that I'm very constipated, but as I started to ask my friends and my family members that are mostly female, they're also crazy constipated and no one talks about it. And I came across this really weird ingredient in this, I saw a naturopath finally. She told me about it, I tried it. It's only in one other product on the market, and it's sold as a full-on colon cleanse, so it's much stronger, higher dose. It is the only thing that ever worked for me. It was incredible, it changed my life. And I was just thinking, why does no one know about this? And this needs to exist in more women's lives because everyone's constipated, and I was right. Clearly,
it seems like business is taking off.
It is.
Like crazy. Before we dived into all the business stuff behind Let Loose, Alexandra told us the story of how it all started with her first painting, which sold for $30,000.
In high school for a lot of money.
Really?
And it just kind of like launched.
What's a lot of money?
First one was 30 grand.
Whoa!
And then it launched me into this whole art career before I started college. I don't know if you've seen the TV show Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
Obsessed with the show in high school.
Okay.
And in the show, there are these huge oil paintings on the walls, and they're super colorful, bold, incredible. And I became obsessed with them, and I hadn't ever painted before that. I decided to make my own version of his painting. So I convinced my art teacher to let me paint this 6 by 8 foot ginormous rainbow Grace Kelly portrait.
That's huge.
She was like, you don't know how to paint, what the hell are you doing? I was like, nope, it's happening. And I pulled it off somehow, and I realized in the process that I was kind of good at painting.
Yeah.
So I created this huge Technicolor piece, and then I actually found the artist's email online and I sent it to him. and he's one of the biggest, like he's in Gagosian, which is the biggest gallery in the world. And he literally saw my email, responded to it, and then came to my high school in New Hampshire, flew all the way there just to meet me, see my work, and kind of talked me through his whole thing, his process. And then I begged him for a job. So I moved to New York that summer, worked for him in his art studio. And then that's why I was like, I need to be in New York.
That is incredible.
Took a gap year after high school and got into my first gallery in the city and just started having shows from there.
That is so cool. I didn't know the art story. I never knew how you got into. That's crazy.
But yeah, I took a gap year so that I could just paint, travel the world. So I would make a painting, take a trip, make a painting, take a trip, try to sell the painting, make some money.
Yeah.
Actually, my first painting that I sold funded my entire gap year, which was pretty sick. I went to New Zealand, I went all over. And then, yeah, I just got to college and I was like, I just want to be a professional artist. I don't know what I'm doing here, but it is what it is.
So you say a lot of out there stuff, like.
Do I?
Yeah, like, well, a lot of people aren't comfortable using the words poop in public or, you know, let's start shit, etc., etc. Were you always this comfortable, or was it a thing of like you had to get over some anxiety?
I was always so embarrassed because I was so constipated. Even with my own family members, I would be saying, I need to go to this pharmacy, but I wouldn't tell them why. And I would always be buying laxatives secretly. And it felt like this whole, it was like shame hanging over my head. But I think what I realized as I became an artist is that all of my work is super bold. I guess I'm kind of a bold person, and this is a topic that so many people deal with, and so I just don't believe it should be something, because I felt that shame and embarrassment. I don't want other women and other people to deal with that themselves. So I think the branding of Let Loose, the goal was to make it super fun, approachable, something that you want to talk about and you want to show off on your shelf. That's why the bottle is so colorful and fun, and pooping's fun, everyone does it. Why is it something to be ashamed of?
Why women specifically? Like, do men not need to poop as well?
Well, so women actually have more trouble with pooping problems, or with pooping in general, because first of all, our digestive tracts are actually longer, inches longer, so it takes longer for waste to actually move through the female body. Second of all, your hormonal shifts throughout the month, so right before your period you get a lot more progesterone in your body, and progesterone slows down your digestive system and your gut motility. So all of these things, like, women literally already have enough shit to deal with, and now we get to deal with constipation as well. But men don't seem to have the same problem. Although more and more of them are buying Let Loose, so who knows? Tell me, are you constipated?
Not most of the time, to be fair. Like, once in a blue moon, I feel like bloated. And then, like, I don't know, I just thug it out.
It's funny because my boyfriend has actually been my main test subject for the whole thing. So while we are formulating the laxative, I would always make him take it at night because he's very regular. And I'd be like, all right, what's the reaction you're having?
Yeah.
And even now, he loves it. He's like, anytime we go out, we have a big meal, we're drinking a lot, he'll be like, give me a Let Loose pill.
Yeah.
And he wakes up and he's like, I'm cleared out.
Oh my goodness. Like, what do they retail for, and like how many capsules are in like each pack?
Yeah, so it's actually not a simple thing to create. The ozonated magnesium is very rare, first of all, to find. So it's an expensive ingredient. Our bottle is 30 capsules, so one a day. And it goes for $54 one-time purchase, $48 if you subscribe. And then if you buy, some people need to take more than one, so if you buy 3 bottles, you get a bundled discount.
Okay. Well, but like, it's clearly solving a problem.
Yeah.
If not, people wouldn't be dishing out $50-something for it. Okay.
Well, what's it worth to you to poop every day? If you break it down, it's less than your daily coffee, probably.
You've been an artist, you've been an entrepreneur. We know there are definitely ways that like the two things are different, but like, what are the overlaps, do you think?
At the end of the day, what I love doing is creating things, whether it's art, whether it's quilting, whether it's business. It's just, I think that's why with painting I felt a bit unfulfilled, is because it felt very self-fulfilling. It was like, I'm creating something that I believe is good and I hope other people get some joy or feeling from it. Whereas now I'm actually creating a product that helps people feel better every single day, and that to me is so much more important. At the end of the day, it's just creating something that actually causes more impact in the world.
What's a day in the life like now? Because I know stuff is crazy. Like, I know everything's blowing up, you're dealing with everything. The day-to-day of an entrepreneur when the business is blowing up is not as glamorous as everyone kind of thinks it is.
It is starting to get so crazy. I try to wake up at 5 a.m. when I can. I love waking up early and just cranking through as much work before anyone else is awake, because that's the other thing about having a team is now you are managing a team and you have to give people what they need all the time. I got an office for the first time in my entire life because I used to just paint in my studio at home. So I go to my office in West Village in New York every day. I'm there from, let's call it 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day, just working.
Wow.
Take one lunch break, go sit in the sun, and then I go home and keep working.
It's non-stop. Like
It is
a lot
now.
of people think it's like glamorous, but like are you happy like doing the work?
It doesn't feel like work, and I've never been happier. It feels like I found what I was meant to be doing, and I'm combining all the things I love into one business. And every single day I'm just solving new problems. It's incredible.
That is so cool. I love that for you. Differences, like we talked about similarities between being an artist and an entrepreneur before. What are the differences?
It's all solo versus now you're, like I always wanted to work with people, and that's why I hated being alone in my art studio every day. It was so isolating, and now I'm talking to people 100 times a day. Like it's all collaboration, and you're doing it, again, it's just like for other people. So I think that's the biggest difference. And then also as an artist, doing it for 8 years, yes, you continually get better, but it was never huge problem solving. It was like I kind of know what I'm doing repeatedly over and over. Yeah. Whereas entrepreneurship is just a huge problem every single day that you have to solve. And so I think that's what I was lacking.
You seem to like problem solving.
Yeah, it's so fun. Well, knock on wood.
We talked about running the business day to day. We talked about how it's blowing up like crazy. What does blowing up like crazy actually look like? Like what are the numbers?
So we're 6 months in, and we just hit 150K in rev just for May. So we're growing 150% month over month now, which is insane. I just got approached by Walmart. I didn't even reach out to them, and we're going on the shelf in 3 months, which is incredible. Also going into Wegmans and 2 other grocery stores in New York City. And then we're at 35% subscription rate, which is great. So building that up. Yeah, I mean, my goal for May was 70K. We doubled it. And that was a stretch goal.
You are taking off like crazy. Like when I met you, you were doing 45.
I think
right?
I was doing like 12 when I met you.
Oh my goodness.
No, I don't remember. I think it was maybe like 20, because I was trying to get to 50, and then I got to 50.
And now you just hit 150. Do you ever like feel anxious about like, oh my goodness, is it going to keep going, or are you just like enjoying the ride?
Again, everyone needs to move. I just think we're going to keep growing, and I'm excited to launch new products because Tribiotic is a great step too. So we're just going to keep growing, tapping into new markets.
This is 6 months in. This is insane. This is 6 months in, and you're going to be on Walmart shelves in 3 months. That's, yeah, the world is crazy.
It is crazy.
A lot of people talk about like being in business as a woman and like the differences that you experience. Have you experienced any weird things as a woman in business?
No, I think, to be completely honest, when I was an artist, every single conversation I had with gallery owners and collectors, it always kind of had this connotation of this is a man in power and I'm like a young female artist. And so I always felt like that was part of why they were buying my artwork, was because I was this young female artist. And I think this is the most refreshing reality I've ever been in now, is that I go onto these calls kind of expecting that, it's just kind of in my body at this point, and it doesn't matter. It's like not at all, it's about the product, it's all it's about. Is the product working? Is it helping people? Is it a good brand? And yes, it's great that it's female founded and we're female focused, but it's amazing that for like the first time in my life, that is not what matters about this.
You're solving a genuine big problem, and like it's kind of like irrelevant, but sets you up.
Yeah, and I think in terms of entrepreneurship in general, I went to this founders conference, and I was one of maybe like 3 women out of 300 men or 200 men. And so in general, there are not a lot of female business founders, but I hope that changes. And I definitely am now used to just being like the only girl in the room. But that's just kind of how it is at this point. So
what do you think it would take to get more women into entrepreneurship? Do you think that's something we should push for?
100%, especially going to these events, it's so male centric and male focused. It's like, even hearing podcasts about business, it's always, oh, and your father will teach you this and his son will do this. And it's just, women are not kind of brought up. I mean, it's changing now, but they weren't originally brought up to think that they were able to start a business and take that risk. I mean, there is, like, I think about this too all the time. I'm gonna have to when I want to have kids, what does that mean for my business? What does that mean for my family? Like, those things are not necessarily probably what men are thinking when they start a company. So those are obviously inherent differences, but if now we have so many resources where I think it doesn't matter as much.
Yeah, for sure. How in the world do you go about learning everything? Like, because
ChatGPT.
fair, that's valid.
I genuinely don't know how people did anything without AI. Like, I would not have a business right now.
Yeah.
It's amazing, yeah.
Because I'm so curious, like, I know you, all of a sudden you're doing marketing, it's a physical product, so you have to formulate everything. Like, there's a lot of like headaches. There's the supply chain, there's the marketing, I heard you've hired people now.
I have hired a couple people.
Oh my goodness, and what roles?
So I hired an operations manager because we are now launching into retail. So I was running the whole show D2C, but now a lot more moving pieces. Luckily, my boyfriend also is helping a lot because his main business is getting brands into retail. And so when it comes to figuring out that whole process, he has taught me a ton. In terms of learning about everything, yeah, I mean, I asked ChatGPT every question ever.
Yeah.
But then shout out to the podcast Founders. I don't know if you've ever heard it, but
I have.
David Senra, he's an incredible podcaster, and when I would paint, I would listen to hours and hours and hours of Founders, almost all of them.
Yeah.
And now actually we're friends, which is very cool. So I was just telling him about Let Liz yesterday, but he has taught me a lot and just the entrepreneurs before me. So that really set me up, I think, for the right mindset when going into building this.
So you think you can learn online? Like, there seems to be this stigma around like, oh, like people who are online putting out content aren't actually giving you stuff you can actually implement. That's not the case, is it?
Literally angels sent from heaven.
For real, exactly.
You could learn anything on YouTube if you just sit down and watch a video. Yeah.
She said it, not me. Like, I agree, but yeah. What is an unpopular opinion you have about business and entrepreneurship?
Everyone loves to talk about raising money, and I think that's like this huge, oh my God, you raise money, your company's worth this much, it's crazy. And especially what I learned from the Founders podcast and just hearing all these different amazing founders is like, don't raise money if you don't have to, because then you're gonna have all these bosses that you have to work for essentially. And so, you know, as of now, I've completely bootstrapped everything, and I think that has made me a better founder because I'm very conscientious of everything I'm spending. It's my own money that I've put in. And I was lucky that through my art career I was able to do that. But yeah, I just think everybody is too obsessed with this idea of like Series A, Series B, how much money did you raise? It's like, I think it's so much cooler to grow and be profitable. We're also profitable. We're about to be profitable, which is amazing, month 5.
Let's go.
So yeah, I would say my unpopular opinion is that you shouldn't go and raise money right off the bat.
Fair. And would you say you're, I don't even know if it's not provocative, just honest and straightforward way of like marketing is working?
100%. I think people are tired of beating around the bush. A lot of brands that you see now, like, I mean, look at Liquid Death and these bold, kind of like in your face, people are more attracted to just like real, genuine truths rather than kind of branding. Like, I don't know, I think the strongest brands today are the ones that are just super honest and bold about what they're doing.
There's clearly something like energetic about you, because like, I mean, look at the story with the painter. Like, you went out of your way, you emailed him, even to get this off the ground. You were telling us you called manufacturers for a year non-stop, and they kept telling you the ingredient you're asking for doesn't exist until you eventually found the only supplier in the country. Like, where does that come from?
My mom used to call me a dog with a bone growing up. Like, if I want something, I will find a way to get it, which is a superpower and my biggest downfall. But I just think, I mean, we live in a world where you can do anything if you really put your mind to it. You have every amount of human knowledge at your fingertips. It's like, why would you not kind of like reach for the top and figure out a way to get there? I just have always thought that way. So I don't really see like a ceiling to my opportunity.
And with that in mind, then, what's next? Like, what are you hoping the next 6 months look like?
I want to expand the product line. Like, some people need stronger doses, some people need the Tri-Bio. I just want to build this pooping brand as large as I can, get it in every hand of every woman that has problems and try to help them, and get into more retail and just expand nationally, and then maybe more international as well.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Like, I can't wait to see
I don't know
where
if
this goes.
that's not all happening in 6 months, but next few years for sure.
What advice would you give to someone like you who is in the middle of like making a huge career change? So you change from being an artist to becoming an entrepreneur. What advice would you give to someone in a similar position?
I think if you keep coming back to that same thought, if it's something that has lasted long enough in your mind where you're like, should I do it, should I not, should I do it, and it's, you're months into that decision, just do it. You can always come back. You can always come back to your boring job that you have. Like, the worst case scenario is where you are right now. And the best case scenario, you can't even imagine. So why would you not try? I guess is my advice.
That is brilliant. What do you do to unwind? Do you unwind is probably a better question.
No, I do not know how to unwind. I've been trying. I'm really bad at relaxing, but I'm getting better. My boyfriend always complains that I'm terrible at watching TV with because I just fall asleep or I'm bored. I just like, I just started getting into Pilates, which I think is good because it forces me to stop doing something for an hour and just focus on working out. I have a dog. I like to walk my dog.
Oh, nice.
That's about it.
That's
really.
about it. No, like you're always on go mode. I can tell that.
Always.
But like it probably gives you more energy to work than like to do anything
And being
else.
around people, I'm such an extrovert. I love people, so.
So, we just finished spending some time with Alexandra. We asked her some questions and she had some incredible answers. She's an incredible founder. Where can we find you? Instagram, YouTube? Where are you?
Instagram is Alexandra Hauksgrounds. My website is takeletloose.com.
Okay.
Art website is alexandragrounds.com. Don't really do YouTube yet.
Yeah? Do you want to?
Maybe one day when I have more time.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll see one of my ads pop up on your feed. Sorry, it's a lot of poop content, but
But you need to poop, guys.
you need to poop, so you're welcome, actually.
Thank you so much for spending some time with us. It was awesome meeting you.
As well.
Take care.
Swore I would be